Okay, so I've had to abandon the laptop because it just wasn't working out for me. It was lagging too much. So I am doing a first impressions of the Game of Thrones tarot. So I have taken the wrap off, the plastic wrap comes, look at that gilding, oh my gosh, yes, done by Chronicle Books. You have seen this before, I know you have. There is a guidebook, and that's where the tarot was. And we're just going to jump straight into my first impressions of the Game of Thrones. Oh, so exciting. I'm going to have a cup of tea. Oh, look at the finish on that card. Oh my gosh. Wow. Wow, that is so freaking cool, man. The finish on these cards are just gorgeous. Can you see that? Can you see the dragon in the background with Lord Tyrion? So these are the backs. It's like this, I don't even know what you call it. It has like this, you can see it like that in the camera, this textured finish. Feels really beautiful. Be really interesting to see how it shuffles. Yeah, so I've already said the spiel, but because it's the winter solstice here in Australia, it is the darkest day of the year, the shortest day of the year, I should say, not the darkest day. And because it's raining, and this is probably the best lighting that I could manage. So, and I was super excited, and I couldn't wait till tomorrow, so I had to share it. So, yeah, first impressions of the Game of Thrones. So here we have the Magician. Now, apologies if you don't know what the Game of Thrones is or who this person is. So this is Littlefinger, and people have made their comments quite well known that they're not happy with who they placed in what archetype or whatever. I don't really care. I'm not that pedantic, and I think it all depends on your connection with the deck and how you resonate with the characters in the show as to how, I think you have to get to know it then. It's like a different way of getting to know the characters, which will be an interesting thing to look at them, these characters, in a different light, you know, because you're seeing them in a different format altogether. Like they are separate from the show, you know. I mean, you know who they are, you have that association already. Look how stunning that is. That is a beautiful, beautiful image. Gorgeous. Ah, okay. Interesting. And it'd be interesting to read about the artist of this deck. So I don't actually know much about who did the drawings. It's cool. Very cool. Hierophant. Oh, I love this one. The colours. Look at the colours. How gorgeous. Oh, wow. This is a very interesting chariot. It's quite an impactful card, isn't it? It's an amazing scene. Like, that's just super cool. Wow. So here we have the Strength card. I really like that. I really like how you've got this image on her handle of is it the hilt of the sword? Just that integrity that she shows, you know, and that loyalty and strength, obviously. And here we have the Hermit. I love the raven. You can't really tell, but I assume it would be a three-eyed raven. But we'd have to have a look in the book anyway. And here we have the Wheel of Fortune. With the dove. Is it a dove? That's kind of interesting. Like the direction of the dove in all the different houses of the different families. That's kind of cool. Here we have Ned Stark as Justice, is 11. Look at this hand. I love the hand at the top there. That is awesome. Now this is one of the cards that I wasn't too sure if I was going to get this deck in the beginning because it's quite graphic. So the Hanged Man, so if you know of anything of what happened, or if you don't, you know, I was sort of thinking, who was it, Amber at Lavender Moon, she had this card, and I'm just going, wow, I don't know how you would read with it. And, you know, she was, I can't remember what her comment was, but if you want to know a lot of information about how to use the Game of Thrones, Amber at Lavender Moon has done these amazing sort of informative videos on how to work with the Game of Thrones, and just giving you so much in-depth on the characters themselves, which is really, really cool. So if you're a little bit sure and you're a little bit on the fence of, you know, if you want to get it or not, I would suggest going over to her channel and having a look. And personally, I will be going back to her channel again and looking at those videos to get more in-depth ways of working with this deck. But I love this card. That is a very cool card, especially about the transitions and everything that Aya went through to get where she is now. I think that's an amazing, totally what death is about. You know, there was so many shifts that was involved that she had to go through, like lots of initiations and to prove herself, and yes, and not what you would probably expect in some ways of this character. Here we have Temperance. He's probably one of my favourite characters, apart from the obvious Jon Snow, for obvious reasons. And here we have the Devil. I mean, and this is another thing too, that they could have had a few people. There could have been a few candidates to be put in the Devil job, but yes, it was Ramsay Bolton. Here we have the Tower. Wow, that's a cool tower. With the little direwolf at the bottom. Here we have the Star. Oh my gosh. The moon door. That crazy sister, I'm telling you, she was crazy. Oh wow. These are beautiful cards. Wow, and they're quite, the colours are quite subdued. The sun. A very different outlook. Ooh, Judgment. Wowza. So I'm so hanging out for the next season, which will be the last season, which won't be coming out till next year, but you know, we're halfway through this year, so it's not far to go if you think about it like that. This is beautiful. I really like the world. This is a really cool interpretation of the world, because I guess that's what they thought it was. Apart from where Daenerys came from, you know, when she was overseas. Yeah, so how are we going for time? Ace of Spears. Two of Spears. This is an interesting one. I'm pretty sure that's little finger. Three of Spears. I love the graininess of the illustrations. Four of Spears. And we're just going to go through to my favourite card. Oh, wowzer. Okay, Ace of Cups. And, oh, this is a Five of Cups. Five of Swords. Wow, that's a cool Six of Swords. So much to go on, I really love it. Oh wow, Nine of Swords, yes. Yes. Really good use of colour there on those swords. And obviously what's going on outside of that cage. Ten of Swords. Here we have the coins or pentacles. This is a cool one. Two of Coins. A Lannister always pays his debts. Let's go to the Five of Coins, because this has kind of become my thing now. Seeing how, because I got a bit freaked out by the Deviant Moon, Five of Coins, and what Simon at Hermit's Cave has sort of said, how he sort of relates to the Five of Coins. Yes. Has so many different meanings when you know what is behind this part of the story. Like, things aren't always as they seem. Do you know what I mean? Oh, these are beautiful. Oh, this is gorgeous. Ten of Pentacles. All that lusciousness. Yes. And we have a Knight of Coins. The Queen of Coins. Marjorie's grandmother. And the King of Coins. Little finger again. You certainly like to have all the fingers in the pies, so to speak. Okay guys, so that is the Game of Thrones tarot, and I'm actually going to look up who the artist, does it say on the back? Explore the Game of Thrones with this beautifully rendered and wholly original tarot card deck. Designed by Michael Morris and text by Liz Dean. Why is that name familiar? Illustrations by Craig Goss. Okay. Alright, so there you have it guys. The Game of Thrones tarot. My first impressions. So I'm going to be reading this cute little guidebook. And how many pages does it have? God, it's beautifully done. 105 pages. The small pages, mind you, but so you get a page and a bit. So that's what it looks like on the inside. Gorgeous. Even the book has this lovely textured finish. God, it's very well done, isn't it? Sorry. Well done. It's beautiful, beautiful. All right, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one because there's another deck coming. Yay, bye.